I was sitting in my living room, feet up, whiskey in hand, fireplace crackling, when the local news broke the story. A stabbing at a downtown club. 2 people rushed to the hospital. One with a busted leg and 3 words cut into her back like a twisted signature. Belongs to a liar. No tattoo artist would touch that. It wasn't ink, it was a statement. One of them was my wife. Yeah, you heard that right. She was laid up in a hospital bed, stitched and doped on painkillers, while her so-called boyfriend lay unconscious in intensive care. Meanwhile, I was calm. Not because I was clueless, but because I was the one who started the dominoes falling. And I wasn't alone. Sitting beside me on the couch was Candace, the man's wife. We were watching it unfold together like the end of a movie we both hated. Then came the call. Unknown number. Detective Walker. Mr. Jennings, mind answering a few questions? I took a sip, leaned back, and said, of course, Detective. I've got nothing to hide. And I didn't. That night, Candace and I were having dinner across town. We had receipts, surveillance footage, waitstaff to back it all up. I didn't lay a finger on either of them. But I won't lie. I helped light the match. This whole thing started months earlier, long before blood hit the floor. Back when silence replaced conversation, when her phone stayed locked face down, and she started smelling like perfume I'd never bought. Taylor, my wife, she was always unpredictable. It was part of what made me fall for her. But that fire she had? Somewhere along the way, it stopped warming our home and started burning it down. 6 months ago, she changed. Her clothes, her schedule, the way she looked through me like I was the help. While I worked overtime to keep our life on track, she was sneaking off for girls' nights that always ended after sunrise. And then came the name, Travis. The guy she was seeing behind my back. Travis Dean, local DJ, meathead, real-life cliché. Muscle shirt in winter, flashy car, probably thinks protein powder is a personality. I figured out something was wrong the night I heard her giggle from behind the bathroom door. Not her normal laugh, the fake, flirty one I hadn't heard since college. She was on speakerphone, whispering. That was the turning point. From then on, I watched everything. I tracked her Uber rides, screenshotted her stories, noticed the man-shaped shadow behind her in one of her girls' night selfies. Aviators, sleeveless hoodie, Dodge keys, Travis. I didn't confront her. I kissed her on the forehead like a fool and started making plans. First call? Candace. Turns out she'd been piecing things together too. We joined forces like 2 people who were tired of being lied to. And instead of yelling or making a scene, we decided to let the truth hit harder. Our plan was surgical, no mess, no fingerprints. We picked a night, a club, and let them walk right into it. The branding? That was Candace's idea. She said Taylor needed a mark, something she couldn't cover with makeup or excuses. Taylor was found bleeding in a club bathroom, unable to stand in heels she bought to impress a man who barely remembered her birthday. Travis? He got what was coming too. But like I said, not from us. We just set the table. When the cops knocked, I greeted them with wine and a smile. Dinner at 9:47, here's the receipt. They left more confused than when they arrived. But this was only round 1. When Taylor finally opened her eyes in that sterile hospital room, hooked up the tubes, her first words were, Kyle. What happened? I stood by the wall, arms folded, calm as can be. I don't know. You tell me. Last I heard, you were grabbing drinks with Jenny. Must have taken a wrong turn and landed in a back room with your dress around your waist and someone else's hands on your hips. She stammered, blinked, and tried to play dumb. I think I was drugged. Of course. The classic playbook. I walked over to her bed, leaned close, and said, they carved liar into your back. Taylor, that's not random. That's truth leaving a scar. Then Candace walked in. You should have seen Taylor's face. She froze, mouth half open. Blood drained from her cheeks like she'd seen a ghost. Why is she here? She whispered. She's with me, I said. That hit harder than the leg break. Candace crossed her arms and stared at the woman who'd broken her home. Taylor tried to explain. I didn't mean for this to happen. I cut her off. You meant every minute of it. You just didn't think you'd get caught. You thought I'd keep paying bills while you rolled around with a guy who wears body spray as cologne. She cried. Not because she was sorry, because she got caught. You think I wanted this? She spat. You think I planned to get hurt? Candace stepped forward. No. You planned for us to never find out. Then she tossed a flash drive on the hospital tray. It's all there. Footage. Backroom cameras. Hotel logs. Your little spa weekends weren't very discreet. Taylor tried to play the victim. This is insane. You're framing me. I shook my head. You framed yourself the moment you picked that dirtbag over your vows. I stood up, grabbed my coat. You know what really hurts? Not the cheating. It's that you didn't even bother to hide how little I meant to you. Please, Kyle. I looked her in the eye. Save your energy. You'll need it for the lawyer. Lawyer? I smiled. Yeah, I'm divorcing you. You're losing the house, the car, and every brand deal you milked off my last name. And when the nurses ask what happened to your back, you better come up with something creative. Because the truth? That'll haunt you. Candace and I left without another word. Only when we got to the elevator did she ask if I was okay. No, I said, but I'm done staying quiet. As the doors shut behind us, I realized something. Revenge isn't loud. It's not some movie scene with glass shattering and cars exploding. It is quiet, calculated, precise. And when done right, they never see it coming. Not all the cameras were broken that night. One of them, an old security cam above the emergency exit, caught the whole thing. Every second. That was the ace in our sleeve. See, Candace and I weren't just angry. We were deliberate. We had a friend inside the club, a bartender named Leo. Leo could not stand Travis. Said the guy acted like a king, tipped like a pauper. So when we asked Leo for a little help, he grinned and said, "The back room? I'll leave it open." That night, Taylor strutted in wearing heels high enough to break her own ankles and lipstick already smudged before she even ordered her first drink. Travis met her like he'd just won the lottery, hand on her hip, whispering trash into her ear. They slipped into the back room like horny teenagers. They thought it was private. They were wrong. Leo made sure the lighting was just dim enough to be creepy, but clear enough to show everything. And no, I did not hire anyone to do what came next. That's the genius of it. Travis had burned bridges long before he met my wife. All I did was tell the right person the right place and time, like putting meat in front of a starving dog. Taylor ended up collateral damage, but I did not feel bad. She etched betrayal into my chest long before anyone etched words into her back. The news caught fire in hours. Violent incident at local club leaves 2 hospitalized. Details unknown. Photos leaked fast. And that message carved into her skin, property of a liar, that went viral. T-shirts, memes, even a music remix on TikTok. And Taylor? She tried to keep up. She deleted her social accounts. Her brand deals dropped her like she had a virus. Overnight, she went from social media sweetheart to walking punchline. And Travis? He has not opened his eyes since that night. Intensive care labeled him stable but unconscious. Candace went to see him once. She stood over him and whispered, "I hope you hear this, Travis. I hope you dream about it every damn night. You ruined your family for a woman who cannot even lie right." Back at home, Taylor had no clue just how far the damage reached. She texted me like nothing happened. "Please, talk to me. I never meant for this. I love you." Yeah, her love came through moans in club bathrooms and lipstick on another man's neck. So I vanished. I left the house without a note. Took a leave from work. No texts, no calls. I left her to sit in the ruins she built. For 5 days, I let her stew in the same silence I had drowned in for months. I went somewhere warm, somewhere quiet, just me and a bottle of bourbon on a balcony. For the first time in years, I could breathe without choking on her lies. And the craziest part? I did not miss her. At all. You spend so long building a life around someone that you think they're the air you breathe. Turns out, she was the smoke. She called me 42 times. I did not answer a single one. She tried my sister. Tried my boss. Even had the guts to message Candace. That was a mistake. Candace texted her back once. "He's done with you. Be done with yourself." That shut her up. I came back on day 6. Not for her, for me. I needed to see the aftermath with my own eyes. I stepped into the house. No flowers. No dinner. No fake tears. Just Taylor sitting on the kitchen floor in an oversized hoodie. No makeup. Hair a mess. Eyes red like she hadn't slept. She looked like a ghost trying to remember its name. "Ethan," she whispered, like just saying it might bring something back to life. I dropped my bag. "Thought about leaving for good," I said. She stood, shaky, still healing. "I thought you had." She tried to reach for me. I took a step back. Her hand hung in the air, then dropped. "Can we please talk?" she asked. I know I messed up. I know I don't deserve you. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I feel like I'm losing my mind." I almost laughed. I had gone through that exact madness while she was sneaking around with a man who wore sunglasses indoors. And now? Now she was choking on the poison she'd poured. You didn't deserve what I did, she said. But Travis, he made me feel something. I was scared. Or bored. I don't know. I cut her off. Don't stand there and use bored as an excuse for betrayal. She broke. Started crying. I made a mistake. No. You made decisions. Repeatedly. She crumbled into herself. I don't want to lose you. You already did. She looked up, eyes hollow. What are you going to do? I scanned the kitchen, the table we once had breakfast at, the fridge still covered in photos of fake memories. I'm going to finish what I started, I said. Her face twisted. What does that mean? It means the divorce papers are filed. It means I sent your brand sponsors the whole story, with receipts and video. It means I'm not just removing you from my life. I'm making sure the whole world sees the real you. She fell to the floor. I walked upstairs, packed the rest of my stuff, came back down with nothing but my keys. As I opened the door, she looked up, whispered the one thing I did not expect. Ethan, was it you? I paused. She stared. The club. The message. The cameras. Did you do it? I looked her right in the eye. Does it matter now? And I walked out. I swore I would never speak to her again. But fire? It hangs in the air long after it is gone. And Taylor? She was still choking on the smoke. Within a week, she was everywhere. Just not how she wanted to be. No brand deals. No paid vacations. Her follower count dropped like a bad stock. Her name became a meme. Screenshots of her texts leaked. Videos of her whispering to Travis behind that club door made their way to Reddit. People were brutal. This the loyalty queen? Imagine losing your life for a man in a coma. I stayed silent. I let the truth do what it does best, spread. I got a quiet place across town. Clean space. One couch. One bed. No lies. No perfume. No second phones. Just peace. But she kept calling. Blocked numbers. Unknown IDs. One night, I picked up. Her voice was like a ghost. Ethan. I know you hate me. I deserve it. But something's happening. I need to tell you something I haven't told anyone. I stayed silent. I'm being followed, she whispered. Someone's watching me outside my building. My car tires were slashed last night. I rolled my eyes. You sure it's not karma checking in? This isn't online hate, she hissed. It's real. Someone is playing games with me. Maybe it's one of Travis's other side flings, I said. You were not his only mistake. Then she said something that stopped me cold. I think it's someone you told. What? The night at the club. That wasn't random. I know you and Candace planned something. I don't care about the divorce. I deserve that. But this stalking, the threats. I think it's fallout. I think you lit a fire and now someone's still feeding it. I did not answer. My jaw was locked. My gut twisted, not with guilt. Not exactly. With something darker. Had we gone too far? Had I unleashed something I could not control? She whispered, they are not done. I hung up. For the first time in weeks, I did not feel satisfied. I felt unsure. Because when you open the gates to vengeance, sometimes the demons don't stop where you tell them to. The next night, I got a call I didn't expect. Candace, you hear what happened to Madison? She asked. No. What? She got jumped outside her gym, Candace said. Black eye, fractured wrist. Said the guy leaned in and whispered, liars get what they deserve. I stopped moving. Heart didn't beat. Air got tight. Candace was quiet for a second. Then, you didn't do this, right? No, I answered without missing a beat. Did you? Of course not, she snapped. And then the silence came. Heavy. Long chilling. Then who the hell did? She asked. And for the first time since this whole thing started, I had no clue. I thought we ended the game. Turns out someone else picked up the controller. That night I did not sleep. Not because I was worried about Madison. Those feelings were long gone. But because I realized something I hadn't before. I was no longer the scariest part of her life. Someone worse had stepped in. Someone unpredictable. I texted Candace. Ethan, we need to meet. Tonight. She replied right away. Candace, my place. 8 p.m. No phones. That last part made my stomach twist. When I showed up, the place looked like we were prepping for a siege, windows covered, curtains drawn tight, 2 glasses of wine already poured. Talk, she said. No greetings. No hugs. Just war room energy. I didn't send anyone after her, I said. You didn't either? She gave me a sharp look. I wanted justice, not an arrest record. We sat in silence again. You could hear the fridge humming and traffic way off in the distance. But inside, it was still. Unsettlingly still. Finally, Candace broke the silence. There's someone else in this, she said. I nodded slowly. One of Travis's old enemies? She walked over to a drawer, pulled out a thick folder, real paper, red ink, photos, scribbled notes. I did some digging, she said. Turns out Travis didn't just cheat. He scammed people. Ran crypto scams, fake fundraisers, even shady debt collections. And he made a lot of enemies. I started flipping through the folder. One name hit me like a brick. Brandon Malloy. Who's this? I asked. Candace looked away for a second. Someone Travis owed 60 grand to. Got in time for aggravated assault. Got out 3 months before all this exploded. I swallowed hard. You think he's going after Madison? If he thinks she was part of Travis's games, yeah, Candace said flatly. I leaned back, rubbed my temples. This wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want her hospitalized again. I just wanted her exposed. Humiliated. Ruined online. Not broken on a sidewalk. Candace sat beside me and said something I did not expect. You need to warn her. I let out a bitter laugh. After everything she did to us? This isn't about forgiving her, Candace said, softer now. It's about not becoming what they were. We wanted the truth, not trauma. We planned a message, not a hit list. I looked her in the eye. She didn't blink. She meant it. And I knew she was right. So the next morning, I did it. I called Madison. She picked up on the first ring. Ethan? Her voice sounded cracked, thin. Listen carefully, I said. You're in real danger. And not from me. Silence. It's someone Travis crossed. His name's Brandon Malloy. He did time. He's out. And he might think you're part of Travis's scams. Quiet again. Then she whispered, I know that name. Travis used to say if Brandon ever got out, he'd come for him first. Well, he's out, I said. And you might be next. I won't call again. Pack up. Leave town. Today. I hung up before she could respond. Because whatever I thought of her, I wasn't about to let her get hunted like an animal. Not like this. What I did not realize. Brandon wasn't just after her. He was after everyone connected to Travis, including me. I thought I was clean. Thought I had walked away. Brandon had other plans. It started with a note. No envelope. No name. Just a strip of paper shoved under my apartment door. All caps. Jagged ink. You played a part. Now you pay a price. I stared at it, heart thudding. Checked the hallway camera. Of course, nothing. The feed glitched between 2:16 and 2:24 a.m. That is not a coincidence. Whoever this was knew how to move. And that meant pretending this was Madison's problem? That was over. I called Candace. She picked up mid-ring. He found me, too, she said. Dead bird on my porch this morning. Neck snapped. Jesus. I started pacing. We need to meet. Now. This goes deeper than we thought. No, she said. We need to disappear. For real this time. This is not a prank. It's real. She was right. But I wasn't ready to run. Not yet. Because a threat like that? It was a message. And messages could be traced. So I called an old friend, Drew. Tech guy. Cybersecurity for a government contractor. Owed me a favor from college. I sent him the note. Every detail Candace found. Names, debts, scams, every shady piece of Travis's past. 24 hours later, Drew called. His voice was low. Ethan, you're on a list. My spine went cold. What kind of list? Brandon kept records inside prison, Drew said. Names. Connections. Letters. You, Candace, Madison. Even Travis's old gym buddy. All flagged. What does flagged mean? Inmate code, he said. Somewhere marked in red ink. That means final. I sat down. Hard. He's not out for revenge, Drew said. He's purging. He thinks everyone tied to Travis helped screw him over. I hung up. Could not breathe. Could not think. I was not in a grudge match anymore. I was on a hit list. That night, I packed a go bag, cash, ID, burner phone, clothes. Changed every password I had. Wiped my laptop clean. And then, I did one last thing. I called Madison. She answered in half a second. Ethan, she whispered. You need to leave. Tonight. I'm already gone, she said. Motel 2 states over. I didn't think you'd call. I had to, I admitted. We're all targets now. She was quiet. Then, soft as a breath, she asked something I didn't expect. Ethan, do you think I deserved all this? I paused. No, I said. You deserve to be exposed. Not hunted. I didn't know about Brandon, she whispered. I didn't know Travis was into that stuff. Neither did I. But it didn't matter now. Because someone out there thought we all did. And he was coming. Not for justice, but for blood. Doesn't matter now. Just stay low. That is all I told her. I miss who we were, Madison said, like a kid clutching the last page of a bedtime story she knew was already over. That man died the day you brought someone else into our bed, I said. Then I hung up. Candace and I met one final time. It wasn't sentimental. No hugs. No tears. Just word talk. Strategy. We disappear, she said. No contact. No socials. No trace. We agreed. I stood to leave, but she grabbed my arm. If we make it out of this, she whispered, we never say his name again. I nodded. But deep down, I knew better. This would not end in silence. It would end with someone bleeding. And honestly, it should have been over. I should have taken my new identity, tossed the burner phone into a lake, walked off into anonymity, and vanished. But when you are being hunted, really hunted, it is not fear that breaks you. It is the not knowing. So I stopped running. I made one more call to someone I hadn't spoken to in years. Marcus Wells, former military, did some time. Now, he works in shadows, handles things that never make the news. He owed me a favor. I called it in. Name's Brandon Malaloy, I told him. He's circling. I want it stopped. Paper trail, he asked. Nope, but I have threats. Names. A dead bird. A surveillance blackout. Marcus didn't ask questions. I'll find him, he said. 3 days later, my phone buzzed. Marcus, found him. Philly. Solo. Wants a war. I booked the next flight. One way. I wasn't flying in to fight. I flew in to see him. The man whose wrath had taken over my past, broken what little was left of my ex-wife, and cracked open every illusion I ever had about my future. The warehouse was straight out of a bad crime movie. Broken windows, rusted gate, shadows thicker than oil. Marcus waited outside, barely visible against the brick. He's inside, he said. But heads up, he's not right in the head. Neither am I said, and walked through the door. Inside smelled like old fuel and something rotting. Rats skittered overhead. And there he was. Brandon. Bald head, fists like bricks. Sitting on a folding chair, flipping a blade like it was his favorite toy. You're Ethan, he said without even looking up. The guy who helped screw me. He smiled like it was a compliment. You and your lying wife. Her boyfriend thought he could outsmart me. Guess betrayal's a team sport now. I stepped closer. This ends now. He laughed. You think you're the one who ends things. No, I said. I came to offer a deal. His eyebrows lifted slightly. Amused. You want to negotiate? I brought something, I said. Something worth more than a threat. I dropped a flash drive between us. It clinked softly against the concrete. Tyler's full contact list. Passwords. Digital footprints. Every dirty deal. Every burner wallet. Every crypto scam. Brandon's smirk froze. He picked it up. This gives me my money. It gives you more than that, I said. It gives you leverage. Power. But only if you walk away. From me, from Candace, from Madison. He stood, got close. Real close. I could smell stale tobacco on his coat. I could kill you right now. You could, I said steady. But you kill me. That flash drive burns with me. You'll be back to chasing shadows. Silence. Just breathing and hate. Then he stepped back. Deal, he muttered. I nodded once and walked out. No shake. No smile. Just an end. Outside. The air hit my face like I had come back from underwater. Like I had just clawed my way through hell. Madison never called again. Candace disappeared, true to her word. And I let her go. Sometimes silence is the only closure you ever get. What did I learn? That betrayal leaves scars you do not see. That love and hate wear the same face sometimes. And revenge? It does not fix the wound. It just stops the bleeding. So if you're sitting there wondering what to do when someone you trusted turns that knife in your back, here is what I will tell you. Do not chase justice. Be it. Walk away on your terms. But if the storm comes for you, make damn sure it does not leave with your name.